Sometimes it's a bit easier speaking to a volunteer.
I've been here for 20 years and I've loved every minute of it.
We've got a few volunteers that then have gone on to get roles within the hospital.
Volunteers play a vital role in supporting patients, families and staff every single day here at the Trust. This week, as part of our Celebrations for Volunteers Week 2025, we revisit the inspiring story of one of our dedicated volunteers and chair of Friends of BRI, Jennifer Smith. Jennifer tells us about what inspired her to volunteer and what she's gained from the experience and how volunteering has enriched her life. We also hear from Clare Bancroft, Head of Volunteering, to tell us more about volunteering here at the Trust and the different roles available for people from all backgrounds across a wide age range.
I worked full-time and then took early retirement, and I knew I didn't want to stay at home. And then a friend of mine who was a guide at the hospital said, "You'll like it, Jen, give it a go." So I came, had an interview, started working the tea bar, and then went on to do knitting, where I saw all the baby knitwear out, and I have been here for 20 years. And I've loved every minute of it. When I get here, I can meet all sorts of different people, and you can chat with them, you can have a laugh with them. The dads in waiting are sometimes really nervous, so you just have to try to have a little chat with them, make them smile and say, you know, you'll be all right, you know, yeah. Been there, done that, so you'll be okay. Some of the neonatal parents, they will be here for probably a few weeks at a time while the baby grows, but you get to know them week by week. And then if you see them at the end of the journey, they'll come and see you and you have a look at the baby and say, oh, and say, take care and good luck.
Over the last 12 to 18 months, we've developed over 30 new roles across the hospital. So in line with our traditional roles that we still keep going with, we have developed these with services, which attracts a broad range of volunteers from our local communities, and we attract volunteers who would like to develop their skills and experience within the NHS. They may bring skills and experience to us. They may just have some free time that they want to come in and give something back to the NHS. We've got a few volunteers that then have gone on to get roles within the hospital. One of our volunteer guides, who still volunteers to this day, but also works on reception at BRI. As a hospital, we are really trying to look at helping to skill up volunteers and look at what we can offer them from the hospital to be able to help them go into jobs, especially our own here at Bradford Teaching Hospitals. We have ward support volunteers, we've got activity support volunteers, we've got volunteers in neonatal, paediatrics, and these volunteers are such a value to these services. They're releasing staff capacity to allow the staff to focus on the roles that they need to focus on the patients, and the volunteers are a friendly face to patients and visitors when they come on and can really make a difference to that patient's visit when they're in hospital.
It's hard, you know, when you go to a hospital and you see all these professionals, and sometimes it's a bit easier speaking to a volunteer. A volunteer in the urgent or minor injuries, guiding people to X-ray or where they need to go minor injuries or if they're lost. When you volunteer, basically, it's kind of like you learn how to work with yourself, you learn what your weaknesses and what your strengths are. Being in the NHS, like volunteering, has helped me develop the skills and the compatibility and the emotional intelligence to work with patients, but also not make it as work, but also make it part of my life. It's also helped me get my first position in Band 2 in NHS as a clinical support worker.
Volunteers have been part of the NHS since it began. And I think, although the landscape of volunteering's changed over recent years, volunteers are still here. They're part of the furniture, really. And I think sometimes people don't realise how much volunteers do. Here at BRI, when somebody walks in the entrance, there's always a volunteer there showing people where to go. And actually, what would they do if that volunteer wasn't there? It's really crucial for us to have that face when somebody comes into hospital, that they know they're a volunteer and actually they're helping them with their first visit to the hospital.